What is going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Thursday morning so far. This is MYG Jeffy T 85, and I'm just here to give a quick Nets and Miami Heat preseason game number two, down in Miami between two of probably the top franchises and top NBA teams in this sport this year, and that's the Brooklyn Nets and the Miami Heat. Now, one of the things that I want to see in this game from the Brooklyn Nets is continued ball movement. They did a lot of it in that first game against the Philadelphia 76ers, where they were constantly moving the ball to their open teammates on the court, whether it was Kyrie Irving or Ben Simmons facilitating to the ball to the outside guys to make those three-point shots, or as well facilitating the ball to the inside to help Nick Claxton get some of those easy layups and dunks throughout the game against the Philadelphia 76ers. So I want to continue to see the ball moving around the court against this Miami Heat team. That is a very talented team overall. I know it's the preseason, but you're probably going to see some of those guys out there on the court. Whether it's a Tyler Hero, a Ben Adebayo, maybe you see a Jimmy Butler, you could see a Duncan Robinson, you could also see a Kyle Lowry. You could see some of those good players in that Miami Heat team that'll be on the basketball court when it's all said and done. So I'm really curious to see if the Nets are going to be able to continue to move the ball around consistently and find their open guys on the basketball court when need be. One of the other things I want to see is, again, how is Steve Nash going to handle this rotation tonight? The last game against the Sixers, he pretty much divided up those minutes where everybody got at least about 9 to 16 minutes per game. Some of them got a little bit longer, maybe around 20 minutes per game. That obviously was the starters, but I'm really curious to see how he's going to divide up the minutes and how he's going to, get everybody at least an opportunity to go out there and see if they can not only crack this rotation, but make this Brooklyn Nets squad heading into the NBA season, which starts in a couple of weeks. So I'm really curious to see how Steve Nash is going to divide up the rotation, how he's going to put out certain guys in certain packages against this Miami Heat's team, if they're going to go small on certain aspects of this game tonight, if they're going to go maybe a big lineup out there against Miami, depending if Adebayo or some of the bigger players out there on the court play, as well as I want to see what kind of defense they're going to play out there too. If they're going to play zone, or if they're going to go man-to-man. That could maybe have a lot to do with it as well. So I'm really curious to see how Steve Nash is going to be able to divide up this rotation going into this game tonight against a very, very, very good Miami Heat team. Albeit it's preseason, you're not going to see these top players go out there and play around, 30 minutes a game, 25, 26 minutes a game. You're going to see these guys pretty much go out there, and they're going to play probably about the same they did in that Philadelphia 76ers game. About 5, 6, I'm sorry, not 5 or 6. They're going to play at least about 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 16 minutes. Just try to get some of these guys on the court. They're going to be going out there, and they're pretty much just going to try and carve out a role with this basketball team heading into the season. So I'm really curious to see how the rotation is going to stack out tonight. I'm also really curious to see which one of these players that are trying to carve out a reserve role with this roster are going to step up tonight from what they did last night. And I'm really looking at some of those young players. Although I want to see what Cam Thomas can do tonight. Day'Ron Sharpe, David Duke Jr., Alondes Williams, Kessler Edwards. I want to see what some of these Edmund Sumner. I want to see what some of these young kids could do tonight. Yuta Wannabe, another young player on this team. Also want to see some of these veterans. Markieff Morris, Patty Mills. When Seth Curry comes back, you got him. You got Chris Chiozza. You got a bunch of young players on this team that are trying really hard to carve out a role with this Nets roster and be guys that the Nets can rely on in terms of putting them in and being guys that can come off the bench, score for this team, play good defense, etc. So another guy, Royce O'Neal, another veteran player that the Nets have brought in. What can he bring to the table? And what kind of role is he going to carve out with this Nets roster? So I really want to see what these Nets role players on this team, not Kevin Durant, not Kyrie Irving, not Ben Simmons. I mean the role players on the team. I could throw out a guy like Joe Harris as well, or Nicholas Claxton, but I think those guys are going to be pretty much locked into the starting lineup, so I'm not really worried about their roles on this team. I think they're going to play a decent amount if they're healthy, but I'm talking about some of those other guys, like I mentioned, a Markieff Morris, a Royce O'Neal, Patty Mills, Edmund Sumner, some of the other role players, Chris Chiozza, Yuta Wannabe, and of course some of the second-year players that the Nets drafted or signed as undrafted free agents, and the rookies as well. Alondas Williams, David Duke Jr., Day'Ron Sharpe, Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards. I want to see how these guys can go out there and see if they can perform well enough on both sides of the court to be able to earn role on this team going forward in terms of getting the minutes that they deserve on this roster. So I really want to see how these young players can go out there tonight and some of these veterans and carve out a good role going into the season, because it's an open competition right now. A lot of players fighting for minutes, a lot of players trying to make this team. So it's a very, very strong, good competition. And I like the way Steve Nash did it against the Sixers in the first preseason game. And I hope he can do the same thing tonight and for the rest of the preseason and give all these players the opportunity to go out there, show what they can do, and earn the chance to earn these minutes as reserve players and role players on this team going into this season. So I really want to see that. And also, I just really want to see this Nets team go out there and perform. I know it's preseason, but I want to see this team go out there and continue to build chemistry on the offensive and the defensive side of the basketball court. That was one of the things that myself and a lot of other Nets fans, Big Fan Breezy, NYG22, Adam Costas, Hit Squad Productions, Big Blue Corner, all of us that are big Nets fans, and as well as a lot of other Nets fans, this team lacks the chemistry they needed last year because it was too late. They pretty much dealt with so many injuries and they dealt with so many issues off the court that this Nets team did not build the chemistry they needed towards the latter end of the season, and it affected them when the playoffs came around, as these guys just did not have enough time playing with one another and trying to get, the rhythm with one another on the court. Now at least get these guys on the court, get them as much chemistry as you can, have them be able to learn each other in terms of their play on and off the court. Learn where they want to be on the court, so you can get the ball to them, or you can play good team defense, whether it's zone or whether it's man-to-man. So I want to see these guys be able to go out there and learn each other on the court and get and develop that chemistry that this team needs, because it's a big aspect on how this team could go out there and really succeed. So I think chemistry is a big part of this Brooklyn Nets team, and this is the perfect opportunity to be able to start building that strong chemistry within this organization going forward. So I really want to see that. But those are some of the key points I want to see in tonight's Brooklyn Nets and Miami Heat game on ESPN tonight. Second preseason game for this Brooklyn Nets team. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, roster injury updates, as well as game predictions and game planning surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And let me know in the comment section what you're looking forward to seeing tonight with the Brooklyn Nets against the Miami Heat. Who are you looking for to hopefully step up? How you would like to see Steve Nash divide up this rotation, and how many minutes each guy should get on the court. And if you're like me and you want to see this team be able to continue to build the chemistry needed for this Nets team to be able to go out there and succeed in this upcoming season for the Brooklyn Nets and hopefully get them where they want to go, and that's to an NBA championship and winning an NBA championship. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon, and let's go Brooklyn Nets. As you know, it's a Nets world, and you just live in it.